In this video we talk about agents of pollination. Agents of pollination. See here the plants use two types of abiotic agents and one biotic agents to achieve the pollination. See here the abiotic agents include wind and water. I have to discuss the first one, that is wind. Here the wind pollination is called anemophily. Here the pollination which is done by the wind. Here the pollination that occurs through the wind, that is called anemophily. Here example the corn cob and grasses. See here in this wind pollination, in this the anemophily, the flowers are exposed to the environment, well exposed, well opened flowers which are occur in this type of wind pollination. Here the anthers are dehiscent, the anthers are exposed, well exposed to the environment, and here they are dehiscence and spreading the pollen grains into the wind. Here that type of the pollen grains are carrying by the wind to the stigma. This type of the pollination which is present in the anemophilous pollination plants. See here most of the grasses. See here in this one female female organ, that is a stigma or style, which is large and feathery structures. They are large and feathery structures, and that's why these are grasping the pollen grains from the wind. Yes, example grasses. See here the corn cob. We are seeing the corn cob, that is a silky hairs. That is feathery, which means they are moving in the wind, which means they are accepting the pollen grains, they are accepting the airborne pollen grains from the wind. So then that is the one of the type of the pollination process. This is about the wind pollination. This is about anemophily. Anemophily nothing but the pollination through the wind or pollination by the wind. That is called anemophily. That is about the anemophily. Next, hydrophily. Here the pollination is by the water. Here there is the cross pollination. That is occurs through the water. That is called hydrophily. This is two types: epihydrophily and hypohydrophily. Here the epihydrophily, which means see here the pollination. See here the pollination which is occur on the surface of the water. The pollination that is occur on the surface of the water, that is called epihydrophily. Surface of the water. The pollination that occurs on the surface of the water, that is called epi. Surface of the water occurs on the surface of the water, that is called epihydrophily. Example Wallisneria. See here in this Wallisneria, the female flower which is reached to the surface of the water, and the male flowers are released, and that male flowers are carried through the water to the stigma. That is the pollination process. And next thing is the hypohydrophily. See here the pollination which is occur in the water. Here the beneath the surface of the water, the pollination that occurs beneath the surface of the water, that is called hypohydrophily. Example the seagrass, that is Joostera. And in not all aquatic plants see like this pollination. See here the water hyacinth and water lily, the flowers are emerge above the level of the water, and they are pollinated by the insects or the wind, as in most of the land plants. Here the both wind and water pollinated flowers are not very colorful and do not produce nectar, and they do not produce nectar. See here, the zoophily. Here the pollination which is occurs by the animals. Pollination that occurs by the animals, that is called zoophily. And see here the entomophily. Here the pollination, here the cross pollination that occurs by the insects. Pollination that occurs by the insects, that is called entomophily. Here the pollination that takes place by the cross pollination that takes place by the birds, that is called ornithophily. Here the pollination that takes place by bats, that is called chiropterophily. And here the pollination that takes place by the squirrels, that is called therophily. Here the pollination that takes place by snakes, that is called ophiophily. And pollination that takes place by snails and slugs, that is called melacophily. Pollination that takes place by snails and slugs, that is called melacophily. Here these are the types of the pollinations. And see some yucca and moth. See some yucca plants. See here yucca plant and moth, that is Tagicula yuccacella. Both do not complete their life cycle without this one. Here here the moth lay eggs in locules of the ovary. And then what will happen here, which is participated, which is involved in the fertilization process, which is involved in the pollination process. Then automatically the flower is fertilized, the flower is pollinated by the moth. Here the moth is lay eggs in the locule of the ovary, and here the larva comes out from the eggs. And when the development of the seeds, this is the yucca plant. I hope you understood. Thank you.